Coming up on Operation Outreach, thousands of pounds of food is being given away to veterans and active duty military right here in Central Florida. We'll learn all about Soldiers Angels, and we meet a veteran who says the program is also helping him prepare for a new career. Welcome to Operation Outreach, a new program to highlight the services available to military veterans right here in Central Florida. I'm Fred Robinson, Chair of the Orange County Mayor's Veterans Advisory Council. Today, we'll learn about Soldiers Angels, a nonprofit that provides aid, comfort, and resources to military, veterans, and their families. I'm joined by Cheryl Sims, the Orlando Area Director for Soldiers Angels. Cheryl, thank you for joining me.
Absolutely. Great
How
to be
are
here.
you feeling today?
Very good.
Okay. Cheryl, tell the audience about Soldiers Angels and what you do in the community.
Soldiers Angels is a 501c3 organization, and what we do is we give back to service members and veterans, and we are in Orlando specifically to help meet the needs of anyone and everyone that we can help.
Okay, great. Considering the current economic recession and the reality of many full-time jobs, employees are underpaid. Tell how the resources that you have available can assist them.
Well, first of all, we have a food distribution program. It meets the third Friday of every month. And we have 210 veterans, families that can come and receive food. And it's enough food that they get that day to feed their family of four for 2 weeks. It's amazing. We partner with Second Harvest Foods.
Okay.
And they bring in the most wonderful variety of, produce and dry goods and meats. So the veterans come and we are able to share the food with them. 75 pounds per veteran. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's a considerable amount of food.
Absolutely. Then we go to the VA and we have patient visits. We have comfort carts that can give them treats and hygiene packs, and when available, we also provide box lunches, and we just are ready to do anything we can to support.
What qualifies a veteran and their family to receive food?
Well, they can register on our site for that, and there are parameters set up. It's low income, homeless, and those with special circumstances that would warrant that they need assistance. As far as the inpatient and care that we can give, there's no parameters whatsoever. We just want to show appreciation to those who have served.
So basically, in order to get food, they would have to register, right?
Yes, for this food distribution, yes,
okay.
Sir.
So let's say, for instance, you have 100 or so people who have registered for food, and now someone finds out about it who didn't register and comes up. What do you do in that type of a circumstance?
Well, what we do is we do have boxes that have been provided to us that we can hand out. So we always, if someone comes, we always have food. And this past food distribution, we had an excess of some of the foods, so we gave those right away.
And can you expand more about the food distribution in Orlando as far as different organizations who support you with food other than Second Harvest, and how it's distributed? Is there any other networks like through churches or anything else like that?
Our volunteers come from all around Central Florida area. And as far as the food distribution and the food itself, we typically just get that from Second Harvest. We are located at Lake Baldwin VA Center. And one of the great things about that is then the veteran doesn't have to sometimes choose between getting their medical treatment or getting the food, so they can do both at the same property.
Oh, that's a great resource and very efficient. And do you have any other resources that you provide and services to the community other than food distribution?
Yes, we have, for our deployed, there are an enormous amount of people that have reached out. We have baked goods being sent to those that are deployed, care packages. You can adopt a family at Christmas time. There's just an enormous array. If you can't come out in the heat and help us with the food distribution, then you can come to the VAs and distribute things of comfort to every veteran that may be there. Or you can work with our deployed service people and help them.
Well, you know, it's amazing that you mentioned adopt a family at Christmas, because I have in the past, and it's so beneficial. And a lot of people don't realize how many veterans are in need that have families, and it's not so much for the veteran, but it's for the children.
Absolutely.
So they can have a decent Christmas and not be deprived of that, and that you provide those type of resources. Is there anything else that you have as far as any education opportunities or anything that your organization provides?
We are working on several things just to make sure that we meet all the needs, the physical, the mental, every need that we can. So yes, we reach out and try to assist any way we can. And
does the VA provide any resources for you or any assistance?
We work with the VA so beautifully. We provide, whenever they have a need, they're going to call us for baby showers this week. We just donated and had donations from all around for diaper bags and all kinds of things for those who service people, or perhaps veterans that are expecting a baby.
Great. Actually, I will probably be a grandfather within the next 5 days. But with that being said, is there any particular moment or situation that impacted your life with a family that you've helped with Soldiers Angels?
Just to see the delight and just the gratitude. And I can just say anyone, and I'm saying that, anyone that I've come in contact that we are just appreciating them, it is reciprocated. It just is such a joyful thing. The food distribution, to see the families come and just say, I couldn't do this without you, so thank you. Just over and over, we hear that.
Yeah, I noticed when I was at the ribbon cutting at the Lake Baldwin VA that there was a family that drove up, and the guy, you know, when I spoke to him, he seemed a little embarrassed or a little ashamed. And I said, no, that's what it's here for. We're here to help you. So it provides dignity to those who are having challenges or a little bit down at the particular time, but it's something that everybody needs, you know. So
absolutely,
it's very important what you do. It's very appreciated, and at this point, I really want to thank you for having this conversation with me and giving me your time to expand a little bit more about Soldiers Angels and the resources and services that you provide and the impact it gives to our particular veterans community. Thank you very much, Cheryl.
Well, thank you, Fred.
It's good to know there are organizations like Soldiers Angels whose volunteers are out in the community, working hard to make sure the needs of our service members and veterans as well as their families are met. A perfect example of this is their food distribution events. When we come back, we'll take you to one right here in Orlando. Welcome back. Soldiers Angels has a partnership with Second Harvest Food Bank that allows them to provide an impressive amount of food assistance to service members and veterans. The monthly distribution events are conveniently held at the Lake Baldwin VA Clinic right here in Orlando. And as you're about to see, the service member and veterans who come are grateful.
So Soldiers Angels is actually an organization that was founded by the grandniece of General George Patton back in 2003. Her son was serving in Iraq. He asked for some care package to be sent out to him, and she sent one out, and he responded back and said, hey, I need you to send more stuff. And that's when she realized, you know what, this is something that we need to help our troops out with. And that's how Soldiers Angels came about. From the beginning, it's offering aid and attendance to initially our deployed service members, and over the years has grown to not only include the service members that are deployed and also here at home. but also the veterans in the Veterans Administration community, where we have numerous different programs catered to the different populations.
Today we are going to feed 210 veteran families an average of about 75 pounds of food, and that's everything from produce to meats, dry goods, things that they can, supplement their what they can get for groceries, and give them about 2 weeks worth of food. A lot of people don't realize that veterans, there's very, very many that are below the poverty level. In fact, we've been doing this since 2016. We've been doing these food distributions in 6 key locations where we found that there was a high need of veterans. But in addition, now we're able to supplement the lower enlisted military, because a lot of them are also on food stamps, SNAP, things like that. And I know a lot of people don't realize that, but that's why we opened up our program now to active duty military, guard, and reserve.
As a veteran, it means a lot. I mean, with the way the economy in the world is today, and even before, it helps out a lot as far as feeding the family, getting the stuff that we need as far as meats, canned goods, vegetables and stuff like that. I grew up basically in the lower end of the scale when I was a young man, so this means a lot to me and my family. It really helps out, as far as, like I said, nutritional foods and all that. Again, the way the world is today, and everything's gone up. Price of food, price of gas, insurances and all that. So this really is a good boosting the army. Yeah.
We have a very big base of volunteers, donors, and veterans that we maintain. Every time we open up we launch basically our registration, we send it out to all of the veterans that are on our list. We send it out to the VA hospitals, and a lot of the volunteers that come out are repeat. Some of them have been here for years. But then today our sponsor is Lockheed Martin, so they've got, I believe, about 30 of their staff here volunteering. They also, funded the event for this month, so that they're a main sponsor. And then we have other groups that just kind of they heard about it, they just want to see what it's all about. So they're out here, and eventually they may end up sponsoring one as well.
Well, I appreciate volunteers because not only am I a veteran, but I was also a volunteer. I am a volunteer at the Lake Nona facility, and I used to volunteer here when they had this years ago here at Lake Baldwin. So I was part of this organization for a while. And I saw the faces of veterans and what this meant to them. And then when the world flipped upside down, it was like, wow, here it is, now the shoe's on my foot, and I also need your help now. So it really means a lot to see these guys come out here and give their time and, smiling faces and greeting us and thanking us for our service. It's really a nice thing.
A very big thank you to the food bank. Eli, our partner there, is wonderful with helping to make sure that we get a great variety of meat and things like that for the veterans. Lockheed Martin for sponsoring, and then of course all the volunteers.
It's not a handout. If you're in need, this is a place that meets that need. Be it, like I said, canned goods, vegetables, meat. You should not shy away from this. This is not a handout. This is something that they put out there for all veterans, and I know we all need, because I know a lot of our older veterans are shy from it, especially our Vietnam guys. They shouldn't shy away. This is not something to be ashamed of. It's great. They're out here, and if you need, you should sign up and just do it.
As you just heard, a lot of people don't realize the need that exists in our military community. The food distribution events are a great example of how Soldiers Angels is making a difference. Another difficulty veterans may face is rejoining the workforce. Many have never had a civilian job. Soldiers Angels created a program to help veterans make the transition successfully. And when we return, we'll meet with the Army veteran who says the program is giving him the skills and resume he needs to start a new career. Welcome back. Many veterans find making the transition from the military to the civilian workforce can be challenging. That's why Soldiers Angels created its Veterans Internship Program. Here to tell us more about that is U.S. Army Veteran Corporal Nielsen Garcia. Nielsen, thank you for coming to be interviewed today, and tell us a little bit more about Soldiers Angels Internship Program.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me and giving us the opportunity to showcase Soldiers Angels in the Orlando area. The Veteran Internship Program is a great program because it gives the veteran the opportunity to transition back into the workforce. And you know that it's challenging to make that transition for all of the veterans because, you know, we're programmed a certain way in the military. And, you know, when I got out in 1995, the tools and resources weren't set up to deprogram us. So going back into the workforce, and I'll use myself as an example, it was very challenging because, like I said, we were trained a certain way, we had certain expectations. It was pretty much either you do it our way or the highway, and there's a lot of things that it was hard for me to separate because, you know, there was yelling, there was anger, there was so many other things, so that wasn't set up. But now, you know, fast forward to today, there's a lot of resources and tools, and then going back to Soldiers Angels and the Veteran Internship Program, they introduce you back into that, you know, using Microsoft programs, softwares, how to interact with other fellow veterans that are part of the organization. Then you go out into the communities, the VAs. So you're kind of like eased into it, and at the same time, you're being provided all the other programs, whether you're experiencing mental or physical situations. The VA is there to support you and also help you transition as well.
How long did you serve in the military?
I served from 91 to 95. My first duty station was Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. And I must give a shout out to my Wolfhound brothers out there. And then I served my last year at Fort Hood, Texas. So it was 4 years.
And how did you become associated with Soldiers Angels?
Well, in 2020, I came to Florida because my dad had a stroke. And then we discovered he had cancer. Once he passed away, well, let me backtrack a little bit. So that brought me here, and at the time I was unemployed, and it was the pandemic. So I was also going through my own mental and physical challenges, and so I reached out to the VA, and they connected me with a social worker, and from there, she mentioned, hey, there's these organizations out there that can offer you support aside from us, and so I reached out to Soldiers Angels, and then they assisted me with the food distribution. There, I met Sophia, who is also a volunteer, and she said, hey, why don't you try coming out and volunteer and do this? And so for me, that was a great connection because I said, you know what, now that I have the time, despite, you know, what's going on, I want to give back to my fellow veteran brothers and sisters.
And how long were you out of the military before you got engaged into the internship program?
Whew, that's like maybe, you're talking about since 1995 to now, so over 20 some years maybe.
So the transition has been a little difficult.
Yes, it has.
Okay.
It's been a road where a lot of doors closed more than opened.
And what was your biggest challenge transitioning personally?
For me, you know, being an infantryman, it was that transition of, you know, my mindset was like, I served my country for 4 years. You know, I did this. And like I said, the doors and opportunities weren't as great. So there was a lot of things that were challenging mentally to try to, you know, get those opportunities that others had. But, you know, you had to go through certain steps and accept sometimes that, you know, the jobs that you wanted wasn't the job that you were going to get at that time.
And basically, how could you tell me your overall experience has been with Soldiers Angels internship program, and how long is it?
It's been a blessing. The internship program is 6 months.
Okay.
If it wasn't for them, then I wouldn't have had the opportunities and blessings to get out there in the communities, connect with the CDC, CDCE staff at the VAs and also connect with other vets. And, you know, like I said, it's been so rewarding. And at the same time, they provide those opportunities to grow and you know, gain the knowledge. So it's just been a great blessing. If it wasn't for them, then I probably wouldn't be here today.
And how has your family benefited from the program?
The family has benefited from it in so many ways because, like I said, when I had to reach out for help and my dad needed, you know, caretaking, it also connected me to like the eldersaffairs.org site, and then I was able to provide him with assistance. It also helped us get support where my mom and I could take breaks and give ourselves the mental and physical opportunity to, you know, do our thing, so it wasn't all committed to just his care. So all of those things just interconnected, and like I said, there is blessings.
Yeah, my condolences on your dad.
Thank you.
I have a hospice background. I was a veterans representative, so I understand how much the different resources and services can help a family in a time of need like that.
Yes.
Can you tell us how Soldiers Angels can help our fellow veterans?
Yes, there's so many programs. And, you know, aside from the military and veteran food distribution, we have the Treats for Troops, which where we collect candy and we pass out candy bags, you know, when it's Halloween time. And that's like one of the biggest, you'll see like their faces light up, smiles. They're like, oh my God, they're always asking like, when are you gonna pass out candy? The other big thing is the Girl Scout cookies, you know, and it's a pleasure passing that out. Then we have Home of the Brave. We have the Warm Feet for Warriors, which we pass out socks. So organizations, schools, everybody from the community just donate socks. Then we also have the Adopt a Family. Then we do the Christmas and holidays. For the food distribution in November, we hand out turkeys. And then, of course, during the holidays, we pass out stockings at the VAs and other communities and other organizations as well.
Yeah, and I know how much those cookies mean to the
Oh,
veterans
yes.
because I've been at Lake Nona when you guys have been giving them out. Well, Nelson, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time today to share with us the Soldiers Angels internship program and how you and your family have benefited from it and how other people can benefit it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, and I will say something real quick.
Yes.
We are in need of volunteers to fill certain roles, so definitely go to our site at soldiersangels.org and just sign up. And if you're able to give some time, we definitely need it.
Corporal Garcia's experience is a great example of how Soldiers Angels is providing resources to veterans in a way that makes a long-term difference and improves their quality of life. If you like more information on anything we discussed today, as well as how to connect with Soldiers Angels, go to ocfl.net/veterans. That's where you'll be able to find the links and contact information you need. I hope you'll join us again for Operation Outreach, as we will continue to highlight the many programs and services available to military veterans in the Central Florida area. Until then, I'm Fred Robinson. Take care and thanks for watching.